Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode 5 of the Autistic Wetty podcast show. I really enjoyed episode 4.5. That was a little special during my 12-hour stream on Thursday, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that and about my reaction on my thoughts of doing the 12-hour stream throughout this podcast as well. But yeah, today in the studio, we're joined with HappyElf, one of our previous co-hosts from, I think, episode 1. So, welcome back, Happy.
Yep.
Hope you're doing okay.
I'm good. Good to be back.
Alright,
The
awesome.
last few weeks have been busy
Hmm,
for one way or other. Getting together with a few people on here on Rec Room, and most especially in real life. I started doing karaoke with some friends this past week, so got to
sounds
see them
fun.
again.
Nice. Alright, and we are joined by a husband, Frizz, I can't say your name properly, I'm sorry.
Fitzdoda.
I'm going to call you
How's
Doda.
it going?
I'm good, thanks,
Fair
and you?
enough. I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. So, you are quite new to the game. Good. So, welcome to the. First of all, welcome to the studio, and welcome to Rec Room. How are you finding Rec
Well,
Room
thank
so
you.
far? You're welcome.
I've only been playing for a couple weeks now. I bought the Quest 2, and for the few times that I played on the PlayStation and now playing on the Quest, am finding the controllers easier on the Quest, and I'm really just having fun actually playing with my wife. And before I didn't know what I was doing. I was just messing around. Now I'm actually doing like the dailies and everything, and I'm having a lot of fun.
That's good.
New things every time I get on.
Yeah. When you started making me mad, like, you don't do that. Stop it. Don't do that. Look when you're doing that. Just do this. Come on, follow me. Oh, and I would just run off doing something else. I'm like, okay, I'll do this because I know I could do it quickly.
You say
He
that
likes
like
messing
you
with me.
still don't do that.
Not on this game. In real life, yes, but not the game. I take games seriously.
She does that all the time.
Gaming is a serious business, okay? People can make money off of it, and I want to eventually make money off it, okay? See how he laughs? That's so mild evil.
Um. Relationship goals be like
Alright,
in Rec
making
Room.
each other mad.
Yeah, we've been together for a long time, so
Oh,
Yeah,
congrats.
he knows the buttons to push.
You've.
push. It's simple.
Well.
Oh my gosh. Can't you tell we're totally those mean couples you see in rec center? Yeah.
Yeah, except some couples are probably like kids that stay in each other, so they're probably more interested about, I don't know. Well, let's just say
Yeah.
the couples that I see are the ones that just want to like, I don't know, take interest in the mirror, I suppose. I don't know if you guys take interest in sitting in front of the mirror in Rec Room.
I occasionally go to the mirror, or wherever our mirror is, and I'll say like, oh, this is my character, and I double check. Instead of going into my watch and looking at my icon that way, I'll go to the mirror, and sometimes I'll go to the mirror just to mess with other people, and I go, oh yeah, looking good, and people will like, look at me, what the heck? And they'll comment on my outfit, and sometimes, once in a while I've actually gotten some cheers from it. You know, just getting reactions from people is my goal in life, especially in games. It's great.
I
Oh,
tend to use the mirror just to pick random costumes. Just every time I do something a little different. That way, when she sees me, usually I try to get a laugh out of her, and most of the time it works.
Yeah, he definitely keeps me on my toes when he's coming into the game. Like, what's print today? You know, usually it's just the facial hair. I helped him get that hat from the Hairy Man Legs room, so I'm glad he has that on.
Alright,
This
nice.
of the hat.
Alright, nice,
I've actually
awesome.
helped about 5, 6 other people get that hat,
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm like,
Awesome.
and
Cool.
I helped one person like give me a message saying, what are the other rooms that we could get the free stuff in? And I ended up going on to the adults who play Rec Room Discord saying, hey, I'm trying to help this guy
Hmm.
get the stuff, and what are the rooms? And there's like 6 of them, and somebody gave me the list, including the Hairy Man Legs. And, I think about 2 or 3 of them that I was given from the Discord I didn't know about or couldn't remember the name, so I gave them to the person through the
Hmm.
messaging here on uh, Rec Room.
Hmm. Alright, awesome. So, so anyway, before we continue on with the podcast, everyone, so a little filler on what to expect on this episode today. Uh, we're gonna be talking about the new orientation room that's brought out for part of the new update in Rec Room, because Rec Room has recently updated its game not too long ago, where they brought out a welcoming room for all new players to understand what Rec Room is like a bit more, but well, to understand it a little bit more better. I want to also talk a little bit about adults who play Rec Room, because something has happened with Rec Room Radio, which I'll be going into that a little bit for this podcast. And also, I want to talk a little bit about mature content shows being shown during the daytime, because seeing Game of Thrones during the daytime is fairly odd to me. Like, it's fairly odd, and I'd love to get I understand other people's point of views, because I believe you guys are like from like America, so I
Mm.
see some TV schedules that show like mature content during the day, and I'd love to understand your guys' thoughts on that as well. Uh,
Mm.
so yeah, let's start with the new update with Rec Room, the orientation room. So what are you
Well,
guys'
I
thoughts on it?
remember I actually like it.
Hmm.
It's one of the things that I wish they had years ago, because they had another orientation thing that they had before, but it was you pull out your watch and you get this whole thing. It was with I forget where exactly it was on the watch, but you played 2 different things and then you get orientation, and you had a whole list of things to do, including play these games.
Hmm.
Uh, like one whole game, friend someone, cheer someone, like a whole thing. Add your email to the account.
Hmm.
Uh, Things like that. Majority of it was simple, like score a basket in the rec center, but
Yeah.
there was a few of them too where like kind of hard to do,
Hmm.
like add an email. Not it's because sometimes not everyone has an email to add, and I
True.
think at the time you didn't need it add a email. With
Hmm.
this one, it's very straightforward. You see the games being played. You can see people, especially the paintball. When and I was like, when I saw it that part, I was like, but that person should have actually been hit. But that's just me thinking about at how paintball was actually played. And you
Hmm.
can see the shirts from the previous years, and all the various quests that you could do.
Hmm.
And, one of the things since I've been here on this game since 2018, I was looking for any of like glitches from like the projectors, because I presume the people were in recording themselves doing the projectors, things
Hmm.
like that. And I was just trying to see if there was any glitching to it.
Hmm.
But, oh, weird like that.
Yeah, no, I did actually did it once yesterday. For the first room where no, the second room in where you got like the desk. I got out past the window and I explored around the buildings, and some of the holodests were like walking through the buildings, and it was just like it was really strangely odd.
The people I saw were outside, and it definitely brings the whole thing of like, yeah, are we in a theater school type of thing? And it definitely brings a whole. We're actually at a school. Some people say high school, other people say college, type of thing. But we're nonetheless at a school doing all these activities. And I kind of like the theory that it's a theater school, and it makes me think of the show Victorious.
Oh
It was
yes.
on Nickelodeon, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's correct.
But yeah. Now, you made mention we want to talk about during the daytime seeing mature audience things for
Content
shows.
shows, yeah.
Yeah, right. I haven't actually watched basic cable in a couple of years, but I have, when I have watched it, I've seen a few. It was on a network, FX, I believe the other network, FXX. So some networks similar to that, I've seen it. Now on the network ABC. That's definitely, because that's run by Disney, so they can't have that stuff.
You've.
Yeah. I've seen it once in a while. Usually, it kids aren't typically home type of thing, so they know the schedules of when kids are going to school. Sometimes it's on Saturdays or Sundays, but usually it's like midday, lunchtime.
Well, well, pretty much some of our the original channels we have in the UK, they pretty much started only for certain channels, just like well, some of the branded channels, because we have a thing called Sky TV. So some of the Sky channels have been showing like mature content, like such as like, but obviously, what is it? The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, like
Okay.
yeah. Currently at this
Okay, we
time,
definitely know those. Yeah, his mom used to watch The Sopranos. It was on TV, or at least got the DVDs of it, right?
Well, for most of that, like The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, everything would be like on HBO. And HBO was a paid subscription. You would have to pay extra for that. Some people I knew didn't have it. But for when the people who did have it, like we did for a little while when I was growing up, they would show some mature content throughout the day. But anything that's too far up there, like say Sopranos would be evening to night, but like Game of Thrones or anything else that could be considered a little more X-rated would be like closer midnight, 1 o'clock. You know, it'd be pretty high up there.
Yeah, HBO and Showtime were both paid subscription, especially like say 20 years ago. If somebody said, "Oh yeah, I have those," they're like, "Oh man, you really have the money to pay for something like that," because it was a big deal if you had something like that, because they
totally.
on those you were allowed to show body parts and everything, like for instance, Showtime. The pilot episode of Stargate SG-1, which came out, I believe, in '97, it showed full frontal nudity and
Oh
the
jeez.
woman. It was a woman full frontal nudity and the butt and everything. But if you go and buy now the director's cut of that pilot, they cut that scene out. Which I'm like, when it comes to the storyline, I kind of figured that's it was needed, because before you saw that, you end up seeing a U.S. airwoman get kidnapped, and then you just saw the back part of the woman, so you're like, okay, I presume she's naked type of thing. But she could just be topless for the scene. She could have like pants on and all that. But like having the shot of like the nudity helps the storyline. It's like nothing, no sex went on or anything. It's just, oh, naked woman, okay.
Well,
Dale?
one thing I did find interesting, if I can,
Mm-hmm.
even on certain channels that weren't HBO, just mainstream TV, as a kid, I grew up watching Drawn Together on Comedy Central. So I watched a bunch of shows on Spike TV, like The Man Show, or I
Oh
always
yeah,
wanted to
man.
watch Stripperella. And then there was even channels I didn't have, but the one channel that would come in fuzzy, I wouldn't get a lot of visual, but the audio would go through. And back in high school, I used to listen to like the Howard Stern show,
Oh, nice.
which was yeah. So that was pretty at the time a bit raunchy for me, but I grew up still watching all this stuff because it was on TV, and I knew how to find it, and I'd stay up long enough too. And but uh, like in the high, everyone's gonna find a way to get something. So it's kind of
True.
hard to determine what's on, what's not, especially now with everything being streaming. Because during my days, I'm all over YouTube, and I have my earplugs, and I'm usually listening to something that's not safe for work. As
True.
to where we have Hulu, Netflix, we turn on what we want whenever we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
there's definitely like teenagers and people younger today. They definitely won't like uh, they won't understand the whole thing of like having to stay up late to watch something 1 o'clock in the morning, uh, because that's when like the channel was not as fuzzy and everything, and like our parents, they'll understand that completely, and they'll understand the whole thing of you have to go up to the TV to turn the channel and everything, and now like I know growing up, my dad was very much into having an entertainment center of a television and like the 3 racks of stereo and everything, and like we literally had 2 speakers that it's like 3 feet tall, two of them, and granted when dad upgraded from having smaller speakers for surround sound. So having surround sound was the most awesome thing to have in your home. And my dad joked around saying, "Oh, let's pick up these speakers and how they did in the 80s, put it on our shoulders and listen to music and bob our heads." And, uh,
Little
it's kind of like what
beatbox
you
stereo.
see in yeah, but it's like a 3 foot stereo on your shoulder, and I think at some point we joked around saying, "Oh, let's not just make it on your shoulder like a stereo, but make it like earphones type of thing, and do it walk
yes.
around like that." Just yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
I mean,
Oh no, with headphones now it's like itty bitty things you just put in your ears, like Raycon, which
But
I heard some sketchy things about Raycon, I guess. Some people were like, "Oh, it's no, yes, it's great quality and everything, but it's like a third party who has them and from somewhere in like not necessarily China, but that part of the world."
but I am curious. You said you're in the UK. I've never even considered what any of the airing or distributions would be like anywhere overseas. I know every place has their own different rules, but I never thought really past that. So what were things like for you growing up or even now?
uh, well, as a kid, I sort of watched some raunchy films. Uh, and I remember back then, after like a certain time, like roughly around 9 or 10 p.m. Some the first 5 channels we usually got like on TV on analog, they tend to show like pretty much what the fifth channel in, pretty much showing like adult chatting line adverts, which was fairly strangely odd, and then that's where they also brought in like a digital box called Sky. So obviously that's going to be the talk of the town, of the whole country. Slowly that was started to come into people's homes. And I remember on a movie channel called Movies for Men, after like 9 p.m, that's where they showed like a bit of like adult movies on that movie channel. So it was a bit more raunchier than it was, but nowadays, moving on that, looking today, it's all just action films. It only like lasted for like throughout the 90s and like the early noughts it did. So
Yeah.
it was strangely odd.
I get that. I mean, so basically, if it's around, you know how to find it, it's gonna be there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, weirdly enough, I have a recorded videotape of a film called Confessions of a Taxi Driver that was recorded from one of the channels, and I never heard of this. Like, so basically, I did my
Think I've
research.
seen that.
I've heard of it, at least. I don't think I've ever saw it, but I've heard of it. I know that
It
one
would've-
a famous cable, or when it comes to cat driving, is like people go in and it's a game show type of thing that you answer questions and you could earn money, and you basically get a free ride out of it. Do you remember the name of it? I know you've
Yeah,
watched it.
That's probably something
the
different.
But it's like but it's like based in like New York.
yeah, it
could
was
go
in
like
New York.
you could go like halfway to where you needed to go and basically have a like free trip.
Oh
Or
yeah,
go
true.
the whole way and earn like $1,000.
Yeah, that was just a New York show. But yeah, I've heard several different taxi-based stories, and I think I have seen that one you're talking about, but that would have been years ago.
I never heard of that. I mean, the only film I ever watched that was an adult film as a kid, which I shouldn't have watched it, was a film called Porky's.
Oh, that wasn't even too bad. That was just there's been a big difference in standards of films and natural movies from like the 80s, 70s, and 80s. You had like all kinds of nudity and everything, but a lot of it was used in like comedy based or even horror films would just have it there to have it. A lot of them. Then you moved into the 90s. You didn't see so much of it, but it was still there. 2000s got pretty raunchy and a lot of shock humor, a lot of dark humor. And then from then on, it seems to be a little less and less. But you could definitely tell in there, every era has its own views and standards on how to use this sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, big time. Definitely.
I think one film that I shouldn't have seen as a child was I'm talking about I was 4. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I remember
Yeah,
I
that.
don't think I should have saw that as 4. I don't think I should have seen that when I was 4, because they definitely have like use their sexuality and movements and
Definitely.
like I shouldn't have seen Brad and Janet in their underwear. You know, although for the most part there was nothing wrong with it, you know, but at 4 I shouldn't have seen it. That's just me.
And then here I am watching Mortal Kombat, Friday the 13th, and all kinds of vampire stories with my mother. And I mean the old school vampires. None of this Twilight crap.
I mean,
I have
the only vampire film I ever watched when I was like 5 years old was Marvel's Blade 2, and that gave me nightmares for weeks on end.
Yes.
It was the second one.
I love the Blade series.
one thing that gave me nightmares was Jurassic Park.
Oh jeez.
For original Jurassic, the original gave me nightmares.
I don't know how old the series is. It's very old. I'm not even sure if I'll be able to find it. But one series that I remember I would actually be allowed to stay up late for and watch with my mother, and this is back when I was in elementary, but it was called The Bloodstone. and it was pretty much about this vampire family who they'd all carry this pendant filled with blood, and it was like their power source. And it stretched like, I think 2-3 different movies. I don't remember exactly how long it was, but I remember there were several of them. And we'd go out 10, 11 at night, go to our movies to go, rent the movie. At the time, I just remember the makeup, the very old looking makeup. So there's like a whole nostalgia filter for me there, to where I remember it being very creepy and everything. I'm sure if I looked at it today, I'm not sure how it would look, because I'm talking like maybe a 60s, 70s, maybe 80s film. I really don't know. But it was pretty old. And it was a good one, from what I remember.
We had a movie place called Movies to Go, and they were really great. We also had a place called Hastings, and another place called Blockbuster. And,
I remember that one.
of course, everybody knows what happened to Blockbuster. But Movies to Go, what I liked about it is it was definitely family-oriented feel to it, and like they had a thing of popcorn you could have as you like scroll through movies. And usually, like I remember with my folks, they were like, "No, we're not allowed to get popcorn because there's just a sign right there that says for people who are renting movies, right there."
So
and I'm like,
you,
"But I'm hungry."
so you never went into the back room.
No, I never went to the back room.
There was a back room in that store with a picture of Betty Boop. I'm sure you could guess what it was for.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Okay, well, I think well, I'm going to take it to our next topic then, because I think
Yes.
yeah, I think it's starting to get a bit too much. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the adults who play Rec Room, which, in case if anyone don't know about adults who play Rec Room, like who's sort of like still well, for people like me who's still a bit fairly new to the thing, despite me joining Discord a few months ago. Adults who play Rec Room are pretty much, well, instead of like a kid community, it's a adult community within the Rec Room, where you like talk, like plan to meet up, build, like share your creations. Recently they have made a new map called Adults Who Play Rec Room Mall, which Rec Room Radio has been added into the mall, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, HappyElf, I believe, is in Adults Who Play Rec Room, and also takes part in some of the events. I mean, what sort of parts of events have you took part in so far, and what was it like?
Or take part of what now?
Like in events, like have you took part like in any of the events in the past that's happened in the Adults Who Play Rec Room community?
Oh, the events. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just for some reason was not understanding what you were saying with that word.
I'm sorry.
I've I tried to participate in some of the events, like with the Halloween one that did last year. I tried to do the Christmas one for certain, but I just with the Christmas one, like I was doing the adults maker pick class, so I was like, I need to focus on learning how to build with that and not how about that competition. But like when it comes to like people gathering and everything, I've participated in quite a few of them. Like I was around when the Facebook page first started, and then it was before the Discord started, and I was there basically from the beginning. I've seen a few people join that end up getting kicked out because they were like 17 years old, and one of the individuals who's still 17, like he still gets invited to the adult gathering, and it kind of bothers me because it's the gathering is meant for adults, Why are you inviting people at 17? And there's been a few people from the UK saying, well, in the UK, people consider adults at age 16. And a lot of us understands, like, okay, that must be a UK thing. Maybe some other countries too. But, like, how we define for this group from America. So even if the group was was started like in the UK, and you think, oh, is 16 years old, and the majority of the people were like from UK, like, and I joined up, like, okay, I might not like it, but I need to be with more adults because I don't want to necessarily play with children who like squeak and use foul language, like derogatory and all that. So I'll find somebody to play with in the group. And was it last weekend? I think it was. There was it was within the last week. There was a whole competition of Rec Royale, and about half people there worked within Rec Room somehow. I kind of consider it like Bo, the streamer. I kind of consider him kind of working with Rec Room in the sense that, like, he's well known in streamer.
Oh yeah,
plays this
big time.
game. There was Emily Waffles. You were there. You were playing
the 9v9.
I think.
The 9v9.
Yeah, 9v9. So you met quite a few of the people. There's Emily. Since he was new, Emily ended up giving him something because what we were doing is like
A couple red
people on the
shirts.
first page. People on the first page, they were like red. The second page was blue because there was a whole thing of like for people who don't know that no matter what team you're on, you could be you see yourself as the blue team. And enemies are like, but we're blue. Everyone is blue in a sense. So you have to make a decision of like, to make sure that when you're on your team, what your colors are and things like that. It was really fun. And I kind of like hinted it at them, saying, you should maybe maybe for the next map of Rec Royale, you could have something like this 9v9 type of thing. And because we had it to where like the red team went to, I think, above the lake, and everyone else went to the bottom, and we all had specific spots we picked, and it was really fun. We even did it to where there was 3 teams even. So I think people would enjoy having that availability for Rec Royale because we had the solos, and because I remember when Rec Royale first came out that we had solos and then we had squads. Oh, even before squads, with solos you could do strictly teleporting or strictly walking. And I remember talking to a few people saying that we wish that would be brought back because there's people saying, "Oh man, it's so glitchy." And it's kind of because of teleporters, not to like completely blame them, but it's the whole lag that they have and everything. And then there is a Rec Royale to where nobody could teleport in it, but nobody really talks about that because it doesn't get pushed anything. And it's already hard enough to get the people for squads as it is. So getting like 6 people in the room that's non-teleportation is hard. It will be even harder.
I mean, talking about some of that is possibly in the talks of trying to bring back. I mean, like even I don't know if any of you can notice on the map, here in the dorm, it's like because they changed the whole map up now to expand on it, and there's something where it says like new construction. And
oh yeah.
what do you guys think it's gonna be?
Yeah, I don't think you've seen it because I think it's just strictly in the orientation.
Oh.
But like they're always
Yeah.
doing construction. They're always doing some sort of construction, building, trying to work on things. So I'm not going to read too much into it because, like, with the previous rec center that I came into, when they were building the current rec center, like on this, there was a second floor that you get to, and they had a bunch of boxes and the construction things to it, and a few other spots where it had like construction to it. So I'm like, okay, they're cool. They're building something new, and I remember getting excited for some things, and then I actually saw it. I would be disappointed. So I'm keeping the bar kind of low so I could be like really super excited for something.
Alright.
And
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I'd had no idea because my form of orientation to this game has been her in the other room yelling at me while I'm looking at my wrist, telling me what to press.
Yes.
So I'm still learning a few of the newer games, like some of the original rooms and the games made there.
Oh, fun.
I'm coming across a lot of new. So for what the actual team is planning, I would expect big things, but I wouldn't even have an idea.
Alright, well, to be honest, what I reckon is, because a YouTuber talked about this, is that he reckons they're supposed to be bringing back go-karts. Because...
they had, I saw a video to where it talked about go-karts that originally were around in like 2016. So they
I
have the
wanna drive.
capability of doing it. Oh, yeah. So many people in the, like last 2 years, or actually since 2018, shortly a couple months afterwards, people talked about it and for the AMAs. And I remember this was 2018. They definitely did like Twitch streams, and I remember like there was a room that you go into the center, and right in the middle you see kind of like what you see now, like the greeter, where you get the there's guns from and anything. And behind that is another door, and it would lead to that asked me AMAs, and well, I would see spamming the door with their hands so they could be in that room so they could ask questions. And of course, we're talking to each other and all that. And now they have it where we see now of like submit your questions to like the Reddit, and they'll talk about it and everything like that. And once in a while they do have talks about stuff, like they did talks about the CEV2s recently. But yeah, they have the capability of doing go-karts. I think that they should make maybe a room to where it's close to like Golden Trophy, Crimson Cauldron, something like that. Even have it to where people can make rooms with the kart races and as a competition. Like you have to do one track and do it that way, and maybe have it to where up to 3, but they have to be small tracks.
Yeah.
But like if you do one, I can see people do like crazy levels and everything. And I did go to a track that someone made that's like Rainbow Road from Mario Karts. It's something similar to that, and it was really great, fun competition. And if people know about that room, that great. You gotta do like some sort of reference for like with one of the races. Maybe have kind of like okay, hold on, whatever.
Oh, that's fine.
I gotta think of
You just got me
Stunt
thinking.
Runner.
Yes,
Do
I was
Stunt
going to say
Runner.
that.
Yeah, Stunt Runner have multiple levels for a game, and there's what like 6, 7 levels.
Yeah, and I
you-
really like that competition in that one.
You know, use the physics from Stunt Runner with the check marks spots and everything, but have it towards go-karts. and people actually do the roads. There was a guy, Kurt VR is his current name. They used to go by aka Dad, aka Kirk, and way back when he would make these tracks, and the rooms would get featured, or at least close to it. He got so popular.
Yeah, I mean,
So if anyone from Rec Room that's listening to the Spotify or on YouTube from the Autistic YouTuber or my live streamings, that'd be great. They can hint, wink, wink.
yes, possible go-karts. Like, imagine the amount of kids driving go-karts in VR. Like, be like bumper cars. Like, bumper cars go... boosh.
That's the fun part.
And have a real good challenge to where, like, because there's the whole thing of, like, with actual bumper cars, like, you're not supposed to hit each other, and have it where, like, with one of the levels to where, if you hit another person enough times and just right, your golf cart will explode and you're out of the game.
Ew. Not gonna lie.
Why
It could be
not
like
just-
the last level.
Why not just make a penalty to where it like freezes your cart for a second or two?
They probably end up doing that in reality, but like I like the little twist to mine. Have it to like 3 levels: easy, hard, extreme, and the extreme one at least ends random when you go to.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, but I'm sure even some crashes or bumps would be accidental. That's kind of expected with that sort of race game.
True. But that's why I added if you hit him just right, because some would be accidental.
Yeah.
But like have it to where it's definitely like one level is definitely Mario Kart themed, and you got those little items that explode and everything. Yeah, they're cool. Player created level.
So if you're gonna have weapons, then I'm sure pumping would be well involved.
What would? Pumping?
Bumping.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anyway.
Let's pump it up, yeah.
Not gonna lie.
All right, yeah.
Not gonna lie. Before end of this episode, I can just imagine you two having either like your own podcast show or talk show in Rec Room, and I could just imagine it's just like getting popular.
Oh god, I already hear everything in stereo. Literally, left ear, right ear, way over there.
Yeah, he's this way to me. We're like about this far away, actually.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
He's on the bed, I'm on our couch. He could put headphones in if you wanted to.
Except you
Yeah.
just want to hear the realistic
Wink,
sounds.
wink, hint, hint.
You just want to hear your voice
Yeah,
come
I
from
have-
from the living room. Just like,
I
I
have
love
headphones
headphones.
on. I have headphones on myself, but I can still hear him.
I just love you so much. I love hearing your voice.
aww,
You know,
oh, how
suck
sweet.
up.
That way she doesn't smack me.
Okay.
Whack, 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 whack. You put the headset down and you get whacked and you go, oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's like, it's just a fly.
If she disappears, I'm running.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, this has been episode 5, everyone. With Happy Elf and Doda. Doda, yeah,
yeah,
of course, yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Whether it's on Spotify or YouTube, you are listening from. I think for this podcast show, I'm going to take a mid-season break, so the podcast will return in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. So see you all soon. Bye. would you guys like to say bye for and podcasts?
Yeah. I gotta say one last thing is that the 9v9 Rec Royale game is that I actually did live stream my perspective on that, so people should go check it out.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah.
Want to say bye
Well,
quickly, Dodo? I can't say your name again.
Fizz T Dota.
No, just thanks for having me on. This is the most outside thing I've done aside from Rec Room or laser tag, so this was
All
fun.
right. All right. Awesome.
And can't wait to see what more this game has.
All right. Well,
So,
again, welcome to Rec Room.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for listening, everyone. See you all soon in 3 weeks' time.